Hello, welcome to the KBL Walk and Talk. So you can see I'm sat down, so it's not Walk and Talk today, but basically that's the name of the channel. I have this channel basically on 4 platforms. So 2 of the platforms I've changed to Walk and Talk from podcasts, because basically it was KBL podcast, but now it's KBL Walk and Talk. So I'm going to migrate the other ones over in the near future. So yeah, still working on that, because I've done it a bit too early on one of the channels, on the BitTube channel, and it just messed things up because I was getting good following, and then all of a sudden I stopped getting the views. So yeah, I need to migrate that better. So what's happening? So I'm based in England, in the UK. At the moment, loads of people are leaving this country. There's something like 10,000 millionaires are left. 500,000 people left last year. And it's just getting worse. Like, it's the new rules and laws, and the economy and crime is going through the roof. There was an incident in Derby last Tuesday where a guy got stabbed in a branch of a bank in Derby City. I think it was Derby City Centre. Don't know why, but it's just crazy. This sort of thing is happening more and more. It's about 3 or 4 months ago, a similar thing happened in Nottingham when this kid got stabbed in Primark, and they're just doing it in broad daylight, doing it during the week now. It's not even at night time. It's like normally it used to be like not very often, and it used to be like I don't know, once or a couple times a year, and it'd be like really shocking, but now it's so normal. I'm not saying I accept it and I think it is normal, because it's not to me. I think it's disgusting and terrible, and it's outrageous it's got to this stage. But that's where we are. Not for wanting it to be like that, but yeah, things are getting worse. Also, just to add insult to injury, the Labour Party and Keir Starmer have signed a trade deal with India. So they make it sound like it's a brilliant deal for everyone, but at the end of the day, we're being screwed, because they're going to get lower tariffs on goods, so whiskey and cars being sold to Indians, and India are going to get more access to our country. But the worst thing is, Indian workers what come here won't have to pay any national insurance for 3 years, and that's coming after they've raised the contributions by the companies. So every company who employs staff has to pay higher national insurance contributions now. So the cost of British businesses, but then Indian businesses what operate here won't have to pay it either. So we're being stabbed in the back there. So there's going to be a disadvantage to British businesses. British workers are going to be disadvantaged, because if any company can hire Indian workers, they're going to try and hire them, aren't they? Because they ain't going to have to pay national insurance, and they'll be cheaper. So that's going to be exploited, I bet you. And it coming at a time where we've already got immigration at a level which is too high anyway, but it's just going to further increase it, and it's just going to make things worse for NHS treatment, GP surgeries, finding a place to rent or buy, because the more people, the less availability of services and places to live, jobs. Because even with the jobs, you're going to have more competition. And even with the people who are leaving, there's still far more people coming than there is leaving. So it's not like the country's being emptied out, it's gaining more people all the time. So some good news, you could say. I don't know really, because I could say it's an improvement, but basically Reform have won a few councils in the local elections, and they have a couple of mayors now. So they've got Greater Lincolnshire, Hull, and they won Kent County Council, and they won a few other areas as well. So yeah, it's an improvement, but I don't trust a bunch of millionaires. I think we're just going to be in the same boat. So some things would be better, but to me, a lot of them are just career politicians like Farage and Tice. I don't see they're going to make any change, and they've already gone back on stuff they said in the past. Like Farage has kicked people out of the party for having views which he would have shared the same views before, but now because they're becoming more mainstream, he's fitting in with the narrative. But I just find with him, he just jumps onto any resentment or any like public anger, so he builds on it. So to me, he's just a paid off actor, and the whole system, the whole voting system, is not going to work for us because it's still supporting that system. If MPs can win power and then just carry on as they want without no repercussions, and like they make all these promises, but there's nothing to force them to keep to their promises. They can promise the world and then make excuses and say, oh, we can no longer afford it, oh, now it's not possible, oh, we've changed direction. So everybody else has voted for them for that very reason, to make change. But no, they're not going to do it now, because I see it the world over. They just promise you everything just to get in, and then once they get in, that's it. They don't seem to care then, and their objective is basically to serve their masters, not to serve the people. So you might disagree with me, and I will put my hands up and say yes, Reform are an improvement on Labour and the Conservatives, but that's another thing as well. Too many in the party were ex-Tory members, so are they really that legit, or are they just there to get the money, to get the fame, to get the power, you know? Because I think the power and the money is more important than the fame. The fame just comes with the other two, doesn't it? So yeah, so I'm thinking, are the Reform Party just basically the Conservative Party plus? So they're just like the Conservatives, but just a bit more to the right, maybe. But we have to wait and see. People say give them a chance, but don't like keep waiting 4 years and 5 years for things to change, and then they don't change. Like Brexit, yeah, I know they weren't in power. It was Conservatives, and basically they've done their level best to make it not work. Same as Labour. But it's also looking at Italy. I mean, with their new government, Meloni is the presidente, isn't it? She's made some good changes in Italy. Like, I think they've done quite a few things on food. So, and is there like a ban on quite a few things? Like, I'm not sure about the chemtrails, but there is a few protections on food, so that's good. But then again, there's no referendum to leave the EU, and I thought most of these parties promised that. Didn't the Forza Italia, or it might have been the Brothers of Italy more so, and the League of Italy, I think it's called, because they kept saying about leaving the euro and leaving the EU, but nope, that's not going to happen. And then Geert Wilders in the Netherlands, He said that they're not going to move to have a referendum on leaving the EU now. And I don't know what's going on with the AFD party. They're getting restrictions in Germany. Because that's the thing as well. It's like there's been MEPs in the European Parliament who have been blocked from standing as a European member, just because their views are different to the narrative of the super state, the supranational European Union. Oh yeah, if you watch anything on BitChute, which or even say if you've not watched anything on BitChute for a while, don't forget there is VPNs. So you can get free VPNs like Urban VPN, Norton VPN, Windscribe is another one, Proton VPN, if I've not mentioned it already, because there's loads of free versions. So if you don't need specific countries and you just want to get on BitChute, yeah, majority of them you can download and use them for free. So then you'll be able to access BitChute. Gab might be the same. Yeah, because we should carry on using these services. Just because the government here are making things difficult with the online safety bill doesn't mean we should have to miss out on things and basically let them win. So yeah, keep doing it, keep watching it. There's ways around everything. Another thing what I keep thinking about is moving away from this country. So there's loads of options, but I would say like there's 10 to 20 good countries where you could go. So basically, if you don't like how things are going in the UK, you really don't want to swap the UK for another country which is going to be very similar or even worse. So would you want to swap here for France, let's say, or Germany, or Canada, or Australia? Because even though, like, you could say Australia's a massive country, yeah, there'd be places you might be able to go. Because the problem in Australia, it is a massive country, but most of the cities are around the coast. Unless you go in the outback and you want to live on your own and be really out in the sticks, quite a hard life, I would imagine. Canada, you could disappear into the mountain areas, to the Arctic areas, outside of the Torontos and Vancouvers and Alberta, Calgary. Those are vast forests and areas you can stay. America's the same as well, but the UK is limited, isn't it? Because like everywhere you go, I think there's one town where it's like 30 miles to the next town, but that's it. Most places you've got a village or a town or city close by, so you're always surrounded by people and settlements, and the infrastructure is very good here as well, so you can't sadly live off grid 100%. And then places like France, there's a lot of trouble over there. They've got the countryside, but then you're sort of getting one good element of a good life, but you still got the other bad elements, like you're still going to have the same government, the same police, the same courts and the media, so you're not really fully escaping. But an area I'm interested in, not just Southeast Asia, but the Balkans as well. So the Balkans, I've been to Albania. I'm eager to go to Serbia because it's supposed to be quite a good country. More traditional, like how most Western countries used to be before. More family orientated. No wokeness. So yeah, do you want to live inside the system, but not fully in the system. But I'd say first get away from the big cities. So definitely get away from anything like Los Angeles, London, New York, Sydney, Toronto, Vancouver, San Francisco, Birmingham, Manchester, any of these places, Paris, Frankfurt, Berlin. Um, let's get away from those places. Small towns are nice, but there's loads of nice villages as well. And if you go to an area like there's places in Bulgaria and Albania, and they're not too populated, and people are moving out to go to the West European nations, and so you can get a cheaper house. You haven't got as many people around you. And another thing as well, the further away you are from the cities and in the smaller towns, there's less chance you have a smart city and all the infrastructure set up. So you'll not be living in the technocratic system they're currently building, because places like London and New York and Los Angeles, they're going to be fully installed, fully technocratic. So in London you got the ULEZ cameras, so basically they're everywhere all over London, so there's no escaping them. Plus you got thousands of CCTV cameras everywhere. You got all the cameras basically in the tube, you got on the buses, you've got the 5G being set up everywhere. And plus you got 5 airports flying over you. I don't believe all the environmental bullshit, but yeah, it's not good, especially on the underground, because you're underground and you got all that dust and all that other crap, and it's more pollution underground than there is above ground, which makes it a bit ironic, really, isn't it? Because they've got the ULEZ cameras upstairs on the ground level, but underground they've got nothing, because they just treat people like rats. So they're quite happy for you to travel to work and commute underground, miles underground, like a rat, while the cabal, the richest elite, can just travel in their Rolls Royce and their Rolls Royce Phantom and live a life of luxury and plan out the future of the plebs. Anyway, I'll leave that there. Oh yeah, and in America, the Real ID started on, what was it, 2 days ago, on the 7th. So yeah, you can't get on any domestic flight or enter any federal building without your Real ID now. So the biometric Real ID. So it's crazy to think that America was quite behind before. So I remember going to New York in 2017, and I remember going on the subway, the metro, New York Metro, and even then they had like a cardboard ticket which you top up, and that was at the same time when London had the Oyster card, and then you could pay contactless as well on your debit card. So yeah, you could just tap your card and go through in London, but in New York it was so behind. I think even with the next generation of mobile phones as well, it was behind. And even I remember in Thailand, they used to be like behind the UK, so they was on 3G when the UK was on 4G, and now they're more advanced than the UK. And in America, they caught up so much now, because New York used to be cash everywhere, and it was cash is king. They didn't want you to pay by card, and I don't know how many places. I think, yeah, when I went, I made a card payment, and you had to sign a slip, which you had to do in the UK like years ago. Well, we haven't done that in the UK for like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. But yeah, it's just amazing. You had the COVID scamdemic, and then everything changed. All these countries what use cash are now using cards, and all these systems, underground systems, like you've got facial recognition in Moscow, and then you've got contactless in America now, and we didn't have that before. And then you got the biometric ID, and then you got the digital driving licenses in different states. It's just crazy to think how things have changed and how technocratic things are getting. Like when I went to Albania, I thought it was going to stamp my passport, but they scanned my passport. And they had these e-gates as well, and the UK's got loads of e-gates when I was at Stansted. Yeah, and Thailand started their digital arrival card. So before you go to Thailand now, you have to go online and put your details in. Then we have to put like your passport number, scan your passport. I think you've got to scan your ticket, and then you've got to put like how much you earn and your address and where you're staying in Thailand. Because before they used to do a paper version, but that's stopped for a number of years now. And both Thailand and UK, as of this year, they both introduced the e-visa, but the Thai one was just for visas, and the UK one was to basically replace the biometric resident permits, the BRP. For anybody who's a resident here, they need to get a residency card, so that's now digital, but they kept delaying it. There's an ETA to enter the UK now. The EU is building the ETIAS system, which is the same thing, electronic travel authorization system. And I think the Schengen area is going to go digital as well. So I think that's going to happen later on. But yeah, the technocratic system is slowly being installed. So yeah, it looks like a lot of places, wherever you go, you're going to have to enter that and exit it if you go for an airport. But once you're in the country, if you're outside the cities, you shouldn't get picked up on any of these systems, except for if you're going online, because sometimes you've got to have a face scan on certain websites and banking. Because especially in NatWest, if you send over £750, you've got to do a face scan, which is a bit unbelievable. And eBay as well have a face scan if you want to sign in. And I believe, is it in Abu Dhabi, there's this theme park called Warner Brothers, is it Warner Brothers World? Basically, instead of having a ticket, your face is the ticket. It's quite scary. And yeah, and also CBDCs, so the central bank digital currency, currently there's 3 at the moment. So the Bahamas, Jamaica, and where else was it? Nigeria all have digital currencies. So basically, it's there to replace money. But Nigeria still has a massive black market, so they're not able to fully implement it. But they've done some really dirty tricks, like basically put higher charges onto the ATMs to stop people using them. But then because of their black market, it's difficult to fully implement it. So there you go. They can put it on you, but they can't force you to use it. Same as the wallets. They can give you a wallet, but they can't make you use it. But what they do is try and make everything expensive. So getting cash and paying with cash would be really difficult. And they try and do it that way. But if people keep resisting and the anger is felt by the people implementing these changes, then they're back off. So we need to keep using cash, keep letting them know we don't want this, and show them we don't want it, and don't take no messing around and no nonsense from them. And then these systems can't be fully implemented, so that's what we need to keep doing. So basically, at the moment, there's various countries working on the CBDC. So the biggest pilot is in China. They've transacted the volume of 7 trillion yuan. So basically that's $986 billion, and that's across 16 provincial regions, and that was by June of last year. So the CBDC, there's 4 stages from my research looking at the Atlantic Council. So number 1 is the research stage, number 2 is the development stage, and then 3 is the pilot stage, so that's where they do all the testing, and then 4 is the launch. So yeah, so basically the Bahamas, Jamaica and Nigeria have launched all their CBDCs. It's interesting that they've chose all countries what are predominantly black, because they're always talking about digital wallets and making it accessible for everyone, the disadvantaged, but they've chosen to do the CBDC in 3 countries where majority black people, which have majority black people. So are they just a tad bit racist? Anyway, yeah, they always test poor people as well, don't they? I'm not saying Bahamas, Jamaica is like yes and no, and I guess there is poverty there. Nigeria is very poor, but then it is a what do you call it, third world country, but it is emerging and is getting a growing middle class day by day, year by year, growing middle class market, just like India and Vietnam and all these other fast growing countries. Yeah, so that's CBDC for you. They've talked about various ones as well, like the UK wants to do one, but we're not even in the pilot stage at the moment. The EU are going to release their CBDC in October, apparently. That's what they confirmed. I think Russia is supposed to introduce this year or next year, because they was having a pilot as well. But yeah, just wondering, will this be sped up if there's like a major cyber attack? Because it seems like they're testing the system. We keep having all these different meltdowns all the time. So we've had banking, we've had supermarkets, because the other week we had Marks and Spencer's in the Co-op didn't get the food on the shelves because the IT system shut down. We had Portugal and Spain and France without electricity for a few days because who was it who made the announcement? Was it Spain who made the announcement that, oh yeah, we got 100% renewables now, and then a few days later their system collapsed. But was that any relation to them not following through in an agreement to buy ammunition from Israel for 6.6 billion, was it? Yeah, they didn't go through with it, and then what was it later on, the whole electrical grid shuts down. So yeah, they seem to be testing the system a lot with the fire at Heathrow. Still no reason why it happened, even though all the experts have done their investigations, the same as Spain and France and Portugal. And yeah, we continue to have all these IT glitches and these hacking of the system. But yeah, it's like, feels to me like, is this that cyber polygon they was talking about a couple of years ago? Are they testing the system to see what it can do, and is it being prepared so when they did a major one they know what to do and they know how to do it? But some of you won't believe me, but you got to look into a lot of things. Basically, a lot of things are not natural. All the wars, the majority of wars are not natural. They've been socially engineered to serve a purpose, whether to sack that country or to basically build an agenda or enhance other countries, but mostly it's about money. So I'll leave that there. Sorry I haven't done a walk and talk. I normally do, and I wanted to do one today, but time is the issue, and it's just the time is so the time, it's been very difficult the last few days to get things done, and time's speeding up, and hopefully next week I'll be able to do a more interesting video for you. But yeah, thank you for watching. You can watch these videos on BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey and YouTube. So YouTube and Rumble is KBL Walk and Talk, and on BitChute and Odyssey is KBL Podcast. So thank you, and please subscribe and like. Thank you very much. Have a good day. All the best. Take care. Bye.